You woke up this morning after 8 hours of sleep, maybe even 9. You woke up tired. You told yourself you just need to catch up this weekend. But you've been saying that for 3 years. You got a better mattress. You stopped drinking coffee after 2 p.m. You tried magnesium, melatonin, blue light glasses, white noise machines, blackout curtains so good your room looks like a sensory deprivation tank. None of it fixed the tiredness that never leaves. And here's the truth nobody tells you, that tiredness was never about sleep. Your sleep is fine. What you're feeling is something your brain was never designed to feel. And understanding it changes everything. The most common explanation people give for chronic fatigue is straightforward. You're not sleeping enough. Your sleep quality is poor. You need more REM, more deep sleep, a better circadian rhythm. And for some people, that's correct. Real sleep disorders exist, and if you have one, this isn't about you. But for most people, sleep science has already solved the wrong problem. The average adult who complains about being tired all the time gets more than enough sleep by every physiological measure. Their sleep architecture is normal. Their brain is restoring glycogen, clearing metabolic waste, consolidating memories. Everything sleep is supposed to do is happening. They wake up and feel like they haven't slept at all. The problem doesn't start in the bedroom. It starts the moment you open your eyes. Your brain has two completely separate energy systems. One handles physical fatigue. When you run, when you lift, when you move your body through space, your muscles consume ATP, produce lactate, accumulate metabolic byproducts, and send your brain a clear signal, I'm done, I need to stop. Physical fatigue has a known cause, a measurable threshold, and a simple cure. Rest, protein, sleep. The system is linear, honest, and easy to understand. That is not the system that's making you tired. The system making you tired is cognitive fatigue. And cognitive fatigue does not work like anything you've been taught. Your brain does not run out of energy the way a muscle runs out of ATP. Your brain has a constant, stable supply of glucose and oxygen. It never runs a calorie deficit during the day unless you're literally starving. So when you feel mentally exhausted at 2 p.m., your brain is not out of fuel. It's sending you a signal that has almost nothing to do with energy. This is where the first mechanism lives. Your brain has a network called the default mode network (DMN). When you're actively focused on something, a task, a conversation, a problem, the DMN quiets down. It steps back and lets the task-positive networks take over. But the moment you stop focusing, the moment you sit down to rest, the moment you pick up your phone to take a break, the DMN activates at full strength. And what does the DMN do? It doesn't rest. It runs. It runs social comparisons. It runs autobiographical memory retrieval. It runs self-referential rumination. It rehashes that thing you said 3 years ago. It worries about a meeting next week. It compares your life to the highlight reels of everyone you know. The DMN is your brain's internal storyteller, and it is one of the most energy-intensive networks in your entire nervous system. It consumes roughly 20% of your body's resting energy. That's more than any other single network in the brain. And in modern life, the DMN is running almost all the time. Because modern life has eliminated the conditions that naturally quiet it. When do humans historically let the DMN rest? When they are fully absorbed in a single physical task. Walking, cooking, building, repairing, washing, gardening. Activities where the body is engaged and the mind can settle into a single track. But modern life has replaced those activities with something far worse for your brain. It has replaced them with constant, fragmented, micro-attention. You sit in front of a screen. A notification pulls you out. You glance at your phone. You return to the screen. A thought about a deadline intrudes. You suppress it. You open a new tab. You close it. In 10 minutes, your brain has switched contexts 15 times. Every single switch comes with a cognitive cost. A tiny burst of norepinephrine, a reset of attentional focus, a microdose of stress. And none of these switches is intense enough to feel draining on its own. But the cumulative effect across a full day is devastating. Researchers have studied this directly. In a 2018 study at the University of California, Workers who spent their day in constant task-switching mode showed significantly higher cortisol levels by mid-afternoon than workers who did an equivalent amount of focused, uninterrupted work. Not harder work. The same amount of output. The difference was the switching, the interruption, the fragmentation. Their brains never entered a stable state, and a brain that never stabilizes never rests, even when it's not doing anything. Here's what happens to that brain. Its cognitive energy reserve depletes gradually across the day, not because the work is difficult, but because the switching is expensive. By the time you come home, your brain's task-positive networks are exhausted, but your DMN is wide awake, still running its loops of self-evaluation and worry. So you sit on the couch and you're too tired to do anything, but you're also too mentally active to actually rest. You pick up your phone, the DMN stays on. You scroll. You see something that triggers a comparison. The DMN runs harder. You put the phone down. The DMN keeps running. You try to watch a show. Halfway through, you realize you haven't absorbed a single scene. Your brain was somewhere else the whole time. You are not resting. You are not recovering. You are just existing inside a brain that doesn't know how to stop. But there is a second mechanism making this worse, and it's the one that turns mild fatigue into the bone-deep exhaustion that never lifts. Your brain has a structure called the locus coeruleus. It's a tiny cluster of neurons in your brainstem that produces norepinephrine. Norepinephrine is your brain's attention fuel. It determines how alert you are, how focused, how present. When the locus coeruleus fires at a moderate, steady rate, you are in a state of calm focus. Your attention is stable. Your mind is clear. This is the state where good work happens. But here's the critical fact. The locus coeruleus has 3 modes: low, moderate, and high. Low produces drowsiness. Moderate produces focus. High produces stress, vigilance, and eventually, depletion. Modern life keeps the locus coeruleus in high mode almost constantly. Every notification, every looming deadline, every social comparison, every open Slack channel, every email you're afraid to open, every unfinished task living in the back of your mind, it all signals the same thing to your brain. Stay alert. Something might be wrong. Your locus coeruleus obliges. It keeps norepinephrine elevated. And here's the trap. Norepinephrine is a finite resource. Your locus coeruleus can only synthesize so much of it per day. When you keep drawing on it for hours of low-grade vigilance, you deplete your reserve. By evening, the locus coeruleus enters a refractory period. It downregulates. You crash. You feel heavy. Your brain feels like it's filled with cotton. And this is why the standard advice fails. You can't sleep your way out of a norepinephrine deficit. Sleep restores your body's physical energy. But the locus coeruleus recovers through a different mechanism entirely. It recovers through periods of genuine, uninterrupted calm. Not scrolling, not TV, not vegging out. Calm. The kind where you're doing one thing and only one thing, and nothing is demanding your attention. This brings us to the paradox, and it's a strange one. Physical tiredness and mental tiredness are inverses. You can test this yourself. Spend a day doing hard physical labor, moving your body, using your muscles. You will be physically exhausted at the end. But your mind will be clear, quiet, almost peaceful. The DMN quiets during physical activity. The locus coeruleus settles into its moderate mode. Your brain has rested, even as your body has worked. Now spend a day sitting in front of a screen, doing mentally demanding but physically sedentary work. Your body will feel fine. You might not have moved for 8 hours. But your mind will be wrecked. The DMN has been running its loops all day. The locus coeruleus has been in high mode since 9 a.m. You are not tired because you worked hard. You are tired because your brain never got a moment of peace. The moments that feel the most draining are the ones that require the least physical movement. And the moments that feel restorative are the ones that look like you're wasting time. Walking without a destination. Staring out a window. Washing dishes by hand. Showering without a podcast. These are not empty moments. They are the only moments your brain actually recovers. The advice hidden inside this science is uncomfortable. You're not tired because you need more sleep. You're tired because your brain spends all day in a state it was never designed to maintain. Constant vigilance, constant switching, constant exposure to information your brain interprets as socially relevant. Your brain evolved in an environment where most of the day was quiet, predictable, and physically engaged. Your brain evolved to get tired from walking 10 miles, not from sitting still for 10 hours. And you've been blaming yourself for the exhaustion. You've been calling yourself lazy for needing a break after staring at a screen. You've been wondering why you're so tired when you barely did anything. You barely did anything physically. But cognitively, you ran a marathon. Every single day. And the only way out is not more sleep. It's less vigilance. It's giving your brain the one thing it's been asking for since you woke up this morning. A window to stare out of. A walk with no destination. A few minutes where nothing is demanding your attention and nothing is competing for your focus. The time you think you're wasting is the only time your brain is actually recovering. And if you never let yourself waste it, you will never stop being tired.